Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
2024. As many of you are probably aware, 2024 is the year of the dragon in the East Asian zodiac. It's the wood dragon. I'm not sure what the significance of the wood dragon is exactly, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, go look it up. I don't know what's gotten into me ever since I realized it was the year of the dragon, but I feel so spunky. I just feel like, so think about dragons. They're like dynamic, powerful, mysterious, and I'm so attracted to that. And I think actually everyone is, if you pay a little attention. There is this vivid quality to being which we all crave to know deeply. And we're also a little afraid of it. There's a famous legend about a powerful Chinese man who's usually referred to as Lord Yi. And the legend says that he was so fond of dragons. He was very famous for being completely enamored with dragons, to the point that everything he had, all of his clothing, all of the implements in his house, everything was covered with the motifs of dragons. And so there was a dragon who heard about Lord Yi and decided, well, I'll go pay him a visit because he loves dragons so much. And so he comes to Lord Yi's house or palace or whatever it is, and he knocks on the door, and Lord Yi answers, and he sees the dragon. And then there's different versions. One is he runs away in fear. One is he drops dead. Different kind of versions. But that's actually how we are. Even though we crave, we're attracted to this vibrancy of life, when we touch it, oftentimes we recoil. Because it's so challenging. And so my message for this year is the dragons are here. It's not time to run away in fear. It is time to embrace that dynamic, mysterious, powerful, and intimidating heart that is really all of our lives. Aside from politics and wars and all of these things are going on, it's easy for us to become bogged down into kind of cynicism and a kind of unfaithful way of living. And what I mean by unfaithful is not believing in or not believing in some particular thing, but a faith which the heart is pointed to the true, that we're meeting it head on, and we're allowing the dynamic energy that's there to animate our lives, as well as to animate the lives of the beings that we care about, that we share our life with. Life is full of hardship. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it's nice to say it with a little smile. Because actually it's just the way it is. Sometimes when people come into practice, and they will oftentimes ask, they'll say, well, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to sit for 40 minutes? Why is it so hard? Why do you make it so hard? And I say, wait a minute. I'm not making anything hard. Life is hard. And most of the time you're running around trying to ignore it. And you turn your attention to something else and try to keep the hardness back here. But when you sit down and you face it, it's hard. Living is hard, but living is also dynamic and vibrant and easy. It has both of those qualities. But we try to just take one over the other, then we miss it. So this hardship, which is also dynamic, this life, which is also mysterious, we can think of it as the dragon's body. And the dragon's body twists and turns continually. And we're like a scale on some part of that dragon, which is feeling the shift and the turn, but we don't know what the total movement is. But that total movement is something that we have to turn to and care for. That's why at the beginning of the year we do this particular ceremony, which we'll do here in a couple minutes, which is called the Prajnaparamita, revolving the Prajnaparamita Sutras a ceremony. In Japanese it's called a kito, and a kito is a kind of a ceremony that is a appeal for good fortune, you could say. Appeal for good fortune, maybe, yeah. So the idea behind that is this dynamic life that we all are, that it points to truth. It points through a true way of being and living. And that if we take that seriously, and we don't just let ourselves get bogged down in the difficulty of living, but also feel for the dynamic quality of living, that things work out. That doesn't mean there's not difficulty, but it means that we find a true way of living. So we always start the New Year's with this ceremony because that's the quality of it. The Prajnaparamita teachings, this is basically what they're teaching. It's like, stop running away in fear. Face it. And you'll find that there's a great treasure there. Those teachings came to the human world from a great sage who's known as Nagarjuna. And Nagarjuna, the first part of his name, Naga, means dragon, right? Or serpent. In Asian cultures, really all over the world, these serpents are known and treasured. But in some places, they started sending knights to kill them, which is kind of interesting to think about. Like, how is a dragon made an enemy in some situations? Right? But all over the world, people have known these dragons, and Nagarjuna was a great sage, very intimate with the dragons, and they entrusted him with the Prajnaparamita teachings. Those teachings had been given to him, to the Nagas by Shakyamuni Buddha. So Shakyamuni Buddha said, humans aren't really ready for this. Which I think, come on, Shakyamuni, buck up a little bit. But anyway, he decided we weren't ready for it. So he gave these teachings, the Prajnaparamita teachings, to the Nagas, to the dragons. And then many hundreds of years later, Nagarjuna was converted to the Buddha way, and he received these teachings from the Nagas and brought them into the human world. If that all sounds just kind of like a bunch of malarkey to you, tough. and I would remind you that there's many ways to look at such a story. What is a Naga? Where does it live? What it got entrusted through Shakyamuni's teachings in visible ways and in mysterious and dynamic ways, which are the ways of the dragon. So in this ritual, which we'll enact here shortly, most of you have one job. Well, you have two jobs. The first job is to chant loudly. And so you should have a piece of paper with you, which is the Makahanya Haramita Shingyo. This is the Heart Sutra, which is like almost the most condensed version of the Prajnaparamita teachings. And we'll chant this 3 times. Genki over here will be on the drum. The drum will be loud. If you are sitting next to the drum and loudness is disturbing to you, I'm going to leave in a moment to change my robes. That would be a good time to find another seat or put some tissue in your ear, or just you can do like this. It's not so loud that it will hurt you, but you're supposed to feel it. You'll be able to feel that drum. So feel for the way that the drum is like not just a sound, but is actually a vibration in your body, and then bring that vibration forward with the chanting. And it can be hard for everyone to stay together, so do the best you can, put your voice out there. You might be a little bit off. Every once in a while, the drum will come back to just a single boom, 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 and that's a good place for everybody to get back on. So what makes this ceremony works is that vigorous chanting, and we'll go through the Makahanya Haramita Shingyo 3 times. So you chant it all the way to the end, and then just start back up at the top again, and then we go through. At the end of the 3rd chanting, or maybe somewhere in there, maybe earlier, I will get up from the center. I work with another sutra, which is called the Rishubun, and this is a kind of keystone sutra of the Prajnaparamita teachings. And so I will come around, I will be fanning it over the assembly. This is also the movement of the dragon. Right? This is the whole idea. It's all moving. If you would like to be bopped on the head with the sutra, put your hand in gasho. I know it sounds funny, but this is very like a common thing. I'll try to get to everyone if your hands are in gasho, and I'm not going to hit you that hard. Well, I'll try not to. But I just kind of bop you on the head, and that's a kind of like receiving the energy of the sutra. So you will be chanting, and you see me come by, put your hands in gasho. It will be like that. And then at the end of that, there'll be a revolving of the 600 volumes of the Prajnaparamita teachings, which the people here in the Ryoban will be doing. At that point, just feel it. You don't have to do anything, but just feel it. So 2 jobs: chant loudly, put your hands in gasho if you would like a bump. And then the last thing I would say is when we finish up, we've spent quite a lot of time, a couple days, making rice cakes and special soup and all those kinds of things. So please stick around afterwards. It'll take a little while for that stuff to start coming out. Enjoy each other's company, and then enjoy that special New Year's. It's very traditional Japanese New Year's food. People who are in the ceremonies, is there anything else that the assembly should know? You think of? Okay, I think it speaks for itself.